To order, if we could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Lou, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next is the moment of silence. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Present.
Trustee Reinders. Trustee Lepore.
Present.
Trustee Muller.
Present.
Trustee Schaller.
Present.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Present.
Mayor Knightsky-Troicke.
Present. Next is community recognition. Would Ed Kerfin please step up? We have Ed Kerfin from the American Legion Post 2011 presenting the Veteran Support Appreciation Award. I would ask the board if, while he does the presentations for photos, if you guys would join in the photos. And Madam Clerk as well. Push the button and make sure it's green.
Technology. Anybody that's here from the American Legion, please come up. Well, good evening, everyone. On behalf of the American Legion Post 2011, it is my honor to recognize Marion Village for its continued support and partnership with our post. Marion Village is more than just a place where we meet. It's a home of our Legion family. Their generosity, hospitality, commitment, and community service allow us to continue our mission in supporting veterans, their families, and the greater Homer Glen community. We deeply are grateful for their partnership and proud to recognize Marion Village for their ongoing support of those who have served our nation. On behalf of the American Legion Post 2011, we are honored to present this award. What's that? That's next? Okay. Alrighty, our next award, and again, we really appreciate everyone being here. On behalf of the American Legion Post 2011, it is our honor to recognize Judge Art Smigelski for his continued support of our veterans and our community. Judge Smigelski represents the very best of public service, integrity, leadership, and a genuine commitment to those who have served our country. His support of Post 2011 is not just appreciated, it makes a real difference in the lives of local veterans and their families. When community leaders step up to strength, it strengthens not only our organization, but the entire community of Homer Glen. Judge, we thank you for your dedication, your partnership, and your ongoing commitment to those that have served and worn the uniform. On behalf of the American Legion Post 2011, we are proud to present you with this award. Your Honor, would your family come up too, your wife and son?
Yes. Congrats. Thank you for all your work.
Okay.
That's it? We're good?
No.
Oh. All right.
Okay, that's the next one. All right, on behalf of the American Legion Post 2011, it is my honor to recognize EXI Inc. and Carol Ann Roche for her generous support and commitment to our veterans and our community. Through her leadership dedication, EXI has demonstrated what truly means to give back. Carol Ann Roche's personal commitment to supporting veterans reflects her very best of the community partnership and civic responsibilities. Their support helps ensure Post 2011 can continue its mission, serving veterans, assisting their families, and strengthening the Homer Glen community. We are sincerely grateful for her generosity, their leadership, and continued partnership. So on behalf of the American Legion Post 2011, we are proud to present this award to Carol Ann and EXI.
Thank you. Thank you for everything for veterans.
Okay. All right, don't go anywhere. Okay, the next award is near and dear to my heart. On behalf of the American Legion Post 2011, it is an honor to recognize State Farm agent Michelle Kerfin for her extraordinary dedication to our veterans and to the greater Homer Glen community. Michelle has devoted both her life and her business to helping those who cannot always help themselves. Whether it is sponsoring or supporting our monthly Veterans Breakfast, participating in numerous veterans-focused programs, organizing food drives, or just using her platform through community radio to highlight the important causes and her commitment to content for veterans. Her support is not occasional, it's ongoing, heartfelt, and deeply appreciated. Because of leaders like Michelle, our post is able to continue serving those who have served our nation. Michelle, we thank you for your generosity, your leadership, and your unwavering commitment to our veterans.
Easier, husband's right here.
Wait till the penis goes around it.
Good. Thank you, Michelle.
Bill wasn't involved. She gets nervous on TV.
Okay, our last one, folks. We thank you. So here's a real special one, too. I just want to make sure I get this right. On behalf of American Legion Post 2011, it is my honor to recognize Linda Mikulski for her outstanding dedication and unwavering support to our veterans. Linda's commitment goes far beyond her role at Marion Village. She works tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure our post has what it needs and to serve those who have served our country. Her generosity, compassion, and steady support truly make a difference in the lives of the veterans and their families. It is people like Linda who strengthen our community, not only through the words alone, but through her consistent actions and genuine care. Linda, we sincerely thank you for your dedication, your partnership, your continued support of our American Legion Post. On behalf of the Post, we are proud to present you with this award.
You're making me upset. Lou, you want to come in the middle?
Oh, no, Lou, don't worry, I saved myself.
I'd like to thank everybody here on the board and our mayor, Christina. Thank you so much. We appreciate you allowing us to do this. Thank you so much.
We appreciate everything you do.
Just to tack on a few more sentimental words, I know each and every one of those people who received the award tonight. They are extremely dedicated to our veterans, and we cannot thank our veterans enough for all that you've done for us, your sacrifices, your commitment to our country, and go Team USA. All right, so does anybody have any words they want to say? Are you guys good to go? All right, you guys can leave if you want. You don't have to stay for the rest. Yeah, I'm not kicking you out, but I'm sure you have much better things to do than to listen to us.
It's so much fun.
Thank you, guys. All right, so we're going to move on to amendments to the agenda. Are there any amendments? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to approval of minutes. Is there a motion to approve January 28th, 2026 Village Board meeting?
Would make that motion.
Trustee Holzhauser, is there a second?
Second.
Trustee Schaller. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we're going to move on to public comment. Just a reminder to keep your comments to 3 minutes. If you need additional time, you may request it at doing so. Anastasia, how do you say the last name? Clutie? Gladys, did you want to speak?
No, he's here for the gas station.
Oh, you're on the gas station. Are you here for? Okay, you want to wait till that agenda item comes up?
I never
Okay.
saw the name.
Or you can speak now, either way. All right, we'll wait. Okay, reports and communications from President and other officers. Village Manager Joe Baber.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Today we posted an informational video on the wastewater treatment plant. Seems to be well received. We're continuing to do informational videos in the future with our different departments and provide transparency and information to the public. Also today there was a controlled burn over at Erin Hills Park. Tomorrow Culver Park will have the controlled burn, so just making the residents aware. They have been notified with mailings and door-to-door information that these burns are occurring. From the feedback we got today from the residents in the Erin Hills area, they were very appreciative of the clearing that was done today. Also reporting on the Behavioral Health Committee on March 21st, the Behavioral Health and Addiction Recovery Committee will be sponsoring a mental health resource presentation on loneliness here at Village Hall from 10 to 12 p.m. That concludes my report.
Thank you. We're going to move on to the trustees. Trustee Holzhauser.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I would, obviously, I'd like to just congratulate all of the American Legion Post 2011 awardees. I think that's amazing, all the work they do for the veterans. And I just would like to piggyback on Village Manager Joe Baber's point about the video. Brett Westcott, everyone at the village involved in that, fantastic job. About everyone involved with the recently released video about the proposed wastewater treatment facility. It's educational, it's transparency, and I highly recommend everyone check it out. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Lepore.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As chair of the Economic Development Committee, I'm proud to announce the local business service promotion that we will be doing soon. Homer Glen and retail service businesses are welcome to participate in Homer Glen's inaugural local business coupon booklet. Throughout the month of April, we're showcasing local shopping and service conveniences that make our community special. The coupons will be inserted in the village newsletter and mailed to every home in early April. The deadline to participate in this local business promotion is Friday, March 13th. I encourage everyone to sign up. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Director Janie Patch or myself. We help you out to get them signed up and hopefully make this very successful. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Mason.
Nothing to report, Madam Mayor.
Trustee Muller.
I also have nothing to report today.
Trustee Schaller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will second Trustee Holzhauser's report on the Instagram video. It's probably on all social media platforms. It was excellent. And also for the Environmental Committee, we met on a special meeting. We are working diligently on the tree preservation ordinance. Hopefully by the end of the month, it should be in a draft form for legal review. That's all.
Okay. Village Clerk.
Yes. So actually, it's going on right now. I did just get an update, but the LTHS boys basketball is playing their first game in the regionals. They were up by 6 at the half. They recently claimed second place at the South Conference, and they earned the 3 seed. The team reached 20 wins for the first time since 2011. Girls basketball reached 20 wins for the second consecutive season. They won the opening round of the IHSA regionals, and they played last week in the regional championship. They were beaten by a very tough Bolingbrook High School girls team. Boys bowling got hot at the right time and claimed a second place trophy at the IHSA state finals. Girls bowling took first in the South Suburban Conference. They were the regional champions and also sectional champions. One Lady Porter placed second overall at sectionals, and the team placed fourth this past weekend at the IHSA state finals. LTHS cheer, they were sectional champions. They qualified for state for the 21st consecutive season and brought home their 14th state trophy. The team finished second in the large division at the IHSA state finals. Dance had a historical season with the SWSC and sectional titles, and they placed 14th overall at the state finals. Boys swim and dive, the boys finished 4th in the SWSC conference meet, and they had 2 divers that qualified for the state finals. Boys wrestling were the SWSC champions. They had 5 state qualifiers. One of them was a state runner-up this past weekend at a very competitive and tough 3A IHSA state finals. Girls wrestling hit the mat this weekend. They had 3 state qualifiers. Claudia will be in the hunt for her 3rd straight championship, state championship, and potentially her 4th time as a state placer. Boys track and field and girls track and field just had their first competitions and are off to a great start. And I also wanted to mention that the general primary election is March 17th, 2026. Early voting begins it did begin on February 5th at the Will County Clerk's office, and the early and grace period voting hours, which come up on March 2nd at the Homer Township, will be Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Again, March 7th on Saturday from 9 to 12, and then March 9th through the 13th, Monday through Friday from 9 to 3, and that's it.
Thank you very much. Village Attorney?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much. Just briefly, I'm pleased to report through a conversation I recently had with the village's Insurance Defense Council that case number 2023 LA 466, they have reached a tentative agreement with the parties to resolve that case, which has been ongoing for a couple years now, and that agreement is going to be subject to this board's review and approval. We anticipate having an opportunity to review a settlement agreement for this board's consideration within the next 2 weeks or so. Secondly, as we reported in the last board meeting and previously, we all know that Illinois American Water filed its petition for a rate increase before the ICC. Formally, the ICC has opened a docket. That's docket number 260127. The village team will be posting on its website an informational piece on how the public can put their actual comments into that actual docket. This is one of the ways that each resident can voice their position on this rate increase before the ICC. The village will be putting a step-by-step guide on how to actually do it, and I urge each and every one of you to make your voices heard. And that concludes my report, ma'am.
Thank you. Public safety officials? I do have a question. At the last board meeting, there was a woman in the audience who talked about people cutting through her subdivision. Did you have time to connect with her?
I came across her that I talked with another resident in the hallway. I've been out there.
But you've been out there checking it out and seeing what's going on. Okay.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
We haven't had our safety meeting yet, but I have talked to Public Works Director. We instituted a new program through an IT, which actually gives us real-time facts and findings, and we'll be discussing that at our next public safety meeting.
Perfect.
I do have something I'd like to add to that as well.
Sure.
I have a friend that lives in Twin Lakes, and I asked him if he saw that, because I was surprised when they talked about that, and I heard you guys beefed up the watch and everything, but he told me it's when Wilcook Road floods, is when you get the people that are either going through country woods to bypass, on the north side of the flood, or on the south side, they'll go down 159th and cut through Twin Lakes, and I don't think it's residents trying to miss the light at 159th and Wilcook. It's the roads flooded. And I've heard. So it happens, 3-4 times a year, I guess is what I'm saying.
And I've heard the same comments from other residents that live in the area saying that it's their own residents that are doing it.
Okay, I just wanted to double check on that. I want to touch base on the video that was put out today. Amy, Brett Westcott, even Taylor made an appearance. You guys did an amazing job. I love seeing that. Good job. The whole purpose of these videos is to educate the residents with truth, with facts, with real information, live information of what is actually going on. Because what we do have in the village of Homer Glen is what I like to call fill in the blankers. There's people out there that just like to, hear part of the story and then fill in the blanks, whatever their narrative they want to show. So by putting that out there, squashed a lot of the rumors. I think Brett was a complete natural at it, and I'd love to see more of that. So thank you very much for doing that. I'm going to leave it as that. I already said go Team USA. I'm going to leave that at, my report is that for right now. We're going to move on to the consent agenda. Consider for approval the treasurer's report of cash and investments for the period ending October 31st, 2025 in the amount of $53,597,215.77. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Lepore, is there a second? I'll second. Trustee Muller, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Muller. Aye. Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to legislation and action items. 1, consider for approval of reimbursement grant award under the Commercial Building Improvement Grant Program to Bell Road Plaza, Inc., property owner for eligible improvements at 14201-14215 South Bell Road in the amount of $7,500. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Lepore, is there a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Mason?
Either way.
Mason. Any discussion?
For the record, Madam Mayor, I'd just like to state that I'm a big fan of this program. It fosters a strong bond of partnership with local businesses, and I look forward to this program continuing to thrive. And I just wanted to say a special thank you to the Economic Development Committee and Director Patch for all their hard work in bringing this program to where it is today. Thank you.
Trustee Mason?
No, ma'am.
Anybody else? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
You're welcome. Did you want to say anything? I mean, it's kind of late now, but. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. We like it too.
Madam Mayor, may I?
Yes.
Just real quickly, this is a fire prevention safety issue, and I think this grant program is really good in getting our businesses and non-compliant businesses safe detection in there, and this program is really helping that.
Perfect. Great.
Great point.
All right, we're going to move on to L2. Consider for approval a motion to pull from the table an ordinance with conditions granting 1, a special use for a major change to a PUD with exceptions, 2, a special use for a car wash classified as an automobile repair, service, and body shop use, 3, a special use for drive-through establishment, 4, a special use for an automobile service station, gas station, 5, a special use for a 24-hour operation, Lot 2 only, and 6, site improvement plans for a unified development of certain real property located in the C2 Local Business Zone District at 13812 South Bell Road and 13830 South Bell Road, Homer Glen, Illinois, HG 2530-PUD. Do I call the motion now? Because it's split in two. Okay.
I'll make the motion to pull it from the table.
Is there a second?
Second?
Second.
Trustee Schaller? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Opposed? You're a no?
I'm sorry.
All in favor to pull from the table?
I'm a yay for that, yeah.
Pull from the table. Pull from the table? Yay, everybody's yay?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're going to move on. Consider for approval an ordinance with conditions granting 1, a special use for a major change to a PUD with exceptions, pretty much reading the same thing. 2, a special use for a car wash classified as an automobile repair service and body shop use. 3, a special use for a drive-through establishment. 4, a special use for an automobile service station, gas station. 5, a special use for a 24-hour operation, Lot 2 only. And 6, site improvement plans for unified development for certain real property located in the C2 Local Business Zone District at 13812 South Bell Road and 13830 South Bell Road, Homer Glen, Illinois, HG 2530-PUD. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Mason, is there a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Schaller. So it's up for discussion. Trustee Mason.
With the help of legal, we've had time to clean up the language in the village facts and findings in Exhibit D. I think at this point, it's adequate. I think that the proposed use has been considered in relation to the location, the goals, the objectives of the village's comprehensive plan. In general, it's in accordance with the guidance of our plan. The special use conforms to the applicable regulations in the district in which it is located, including the plan developments, except to the extent that the applicant has requested village board to modify and waive any such regulations pursuant to the recommendations of the plan commission. Otherwise, I think we're good to go.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. In reviewing this, given the site's significant grade changes and its adjacency to agricultural property to the north, I think approval should be conditioned upon submission of some more engineering, providing some stamped stormwater calculations demonstrating that post-development runoff rates, drainage patterns will not exceed existing conditions, and will not cause flooding, erosion, or concentrated discharge onto the neighboring properties, including the horse farm to the north. Final engineering should also identify designated snow storage areas and demonstrate that snow melt runoff is directed into the approved stormwater system and not onto adjacent properties. If those standards aren't met, the project should not go forward to permit.
Are you making an amendment to the motion?
An amendment, yes.
Okay.
Do you want,
I was,
do you want to ask?
yeah, I was just going to call him up first, but I didn't know if a second, since it supersedes, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a second to second Trustee Schaller's amendment?
I'll second.
Trustee Laporte. Would you mind answering some of those? If you want him to repeat one by one, he can.
I'd be happy to. If I missed something, please let me know. I'm Mark Daniel. I've been representing the NSS group on this project for years now, almost like a hobby. The issue with stormwater that was raised, the final engineering plans that you have in the packet tonight, those have gone through vetting for permit purposes. And within those plans, within the subdivision even, there has to be an engineer's sworn statement exactly to the effect, under oath and notarized, that it will not cause any change in runoff, stormwater flow, rate, volume, or direction. And I mentioned to Mr. Gruber, I want to be very careful on this. Rancho Rivera's came into the last hearing and noted a number of stormwater and wetland concerns. Those have existed for a long time. They've only exacerbated over the last 4 or 5 years because they engaged in fill operations on their farm. I don't want to say too much more about that, but if you look at the FEMA floodplain map, you will see piles of fill that are spread out in the wetland buffer, and drainage area. It's important to think about that. What they complain about
Thank you for that clarification.
And may I just note something, Trustee Scheller? The actual, one of the conditions that are already listed in the conditions here basically requires the applicant upon the granting of it. So it's a conditional grant, and one of the conditions that are set forth here requires the applicants here to meet all applicable engineering codes and requirements for final engineering. So indiscriminate runoff, some of the things, sir, that you have issues with or concerns with would be included within that provision, basically requiring the applicant through a plan, through a certified signed and sealed plan with an engineering certificate, basically saying that those issues are not going to happen, for lack of a better word. It's been reviewed, it's been calculated, and the runoff events that someone may have concerns with will not occur because they've reviewed it and they have assessed it and they are certifying it. Now, if it does happen, and then Houston, we have a problem, obviously we have a problem with the engineering certificate, but the applicant shops or has a consultant in the form of an engineer run all those calculations, and I wish Brett Westcott was here to basically explain how those how those numbers are run. I don't know exactly how they're run, but what's the important thing is that he has to sign and seal it, and he gives a certificate saying that it's not going to flood other properties.
Conditions.
It's going to meet the conditions, correct?
Okay, then with all of that clarification, there's no need for an amendment.
Yeah,
These are the questions that
and I apologize for not. I know you had a call into me to ask about this specific question, and I've been tied up, so I apologize for that.
So you're pulling your
I am
amendment?
pulling my amendment.
Okay. So we still have the original motion on the table. Is there any more, who was Schaller? Mason, you called it. Schaller, you seconded it. Trustee Holzhauser, do you have any comments?
Nothing positive.
Okay. Trustee Lepore?
Say your comments.
I'm good. I mean, my comments would be is I think it feels forced to me. The land, the lots seem too small for everything that's going in. It seems like overdevelopment, in my opinion. I've listened to the restaurants. We're looking for restaurants. I mean, the residents are looking for restaurants, entertainment, and shopping. I don't think this really checks any of those boxes. I feel the village has two main corridors on Bell Road and 159th Street where we could be successful in those three endeavors, and this project just doesn't fall into any of those buckets for me. So that's how I feel about it.
Trustee Lepore?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I share some of Trustee Holhauser's concerns regarding this project. I'm a fan of growth in Homer Glen, controlled growth and businesses that will make sense with our overall plan. The concern I have is just you got 4 different entities in this area, bringing in a lot of traffic to the point where at some point I believe an employee would be responsible for possibly directing traffic once the car wash meets maximum occupancy on a busy day. I just see that the gas station plus the convenience store plus the eatery plus the car wash, just a lot of traffic going in and out of this lot here. Can you comment as to, I see you shaking your head, but can you comment to how many vehicles would you expect in, I see the traffic study, but as far as you're stacking 38 to 40 possible car wash vehicles, how many people are you expecting at the eatery in peak times? How many people are you expecting at the convenience store in peak times? And the gas station with 16 fueling stations, it's a lot going on. Any comment as to how many vehicles you would expect at peak hours?
This is a fairly standard design for this use. It's on 3 acres of land, over 3 acres of land. As far as the number of vehicles that are stacking, it's more stacking than you ordinarily see at any of these car washes. It doesn't mean they're going to stack. It's because we had a room to stack, and people would have some concerns, just as you spoke of. It's excess stacking. There are car washes in DuPage County where their code only requires 15.
Okay.
And that's rural DuPage County regulation. I'm not talking about municipal regulation.
Understood. And there's a car wash in town that does fairly well over here, and when a busy day, you can see them stacking their vehicles coming out all the way out to 143rd Street, if you reference the one I'm thinking of. My concern is there's also 3 other businesses here, and this is Bell Road. It's a busy thoroughfare over there. How often would you expect an employee to be able to go out there and actually direct traffic as stated?
I don't think you're going to have an employee out there except to supervise, other than 2 times a year. They usually occur once in February and once in March. It's that back up, someone is going to be out there all the time with trash and waste and operational efficiency. But that person would then get to the point of saying, well, how is this traffic flowing? Do we close the vacuums? That's one of the recommendations that KLOA makes, and I've done dozens of these. As far as stacking, you shouldn't have vehicles stacking to that four-way interchange where you have the Bell Road entrance and you've got the stack to the pay stations, the area that enters the vacuum area, and then the road to the south that heads down towards Menards. You shouldn't have stacking into that area. In the event that happens, somebody would get waved through. That's what happens at all of these. Now, that's an exceptional circumstance that may occur twice a year. And believe it or not, it usually occurs daytime, midday, and not during the peaks. It's usually something that occurs, it might be around 1 o'clock on a given day. Someone after lunch hits the car wash. It's usually the business, office, employment sector that is making these car washes busy at that time of day. Certainly not during the peak hours. That's when people are driving to and from work or home.
Understood. And the peak hours were, I guess I'm referencing more or less, I mean, if you say, for example, 1 o'clock would be your peak time, and that's also lunchtime. You have a beef eatery in there, plus your people are stopping constantly to get gas on top.
The peak hour referral is to the peak hours of Bell Road.
Okay.
Those
Okay.
peak hours are, your morning and afternoon rush and your Saturday midday.
Okay. In your opinion, though, this is the most, this plan has worked in other areas. As far as traffic flow goes, you don't see any problems as far as the number of businesses and square footage and the amount of traffic you expect. This is all within your purview.
All within what we've done. IDOT had one on Harlem that we worked on, and one on Harlem has 23 feet between the discharge from the car wash building and the state highway. It also has 1/3 of the stacking.
Okay. Very good.
What location?
Thank you.
What location is that on Harlem? If you don't mind me asking.
Forest View. It's the Shell station on the southeast corner of Harlem and
It's Oak Forest?
Yep, okay, I know the area.
It's Oak Forest.
I just have another question. Regarding the car wash, in order to access the car wash, is it through paying at the pump, or can you go straight to the car wash and pay automatically through the whatever system that's there?
It's either. There are memberships sold. You have a permanent code to enter as a member.
Okay.
You can get a code on your gas receipt, or you can pay at the entry pay station.
So it's not standalone? The car wash isn't standalone, they're not independent of each other, they're all,
They'll be independent of each other, but there will be that relationship.
Okay.
So that, if you get gas, you'll probably get a discount on your car wash. You'll be able to use that number on the receipt.
The reason I ask is there's a car wash at the corner of 159th and Will Cook, and there's one pay lane, and there's two other lanes that are monthly charges. So those lanes, if you don't pay monthly, you can't access them. So it forces one of the lanes to back up, and it backs up onto Will Cook all the way onto 159th Street. I'm just trying to figure out if any of these two lanes are going to be like that, where it's only reading the plate to let you through because you pay a monthly fee.
I don't think that we've done that at our sites. I can't think of one where we've done that. I'd have to check with them, but there's no way they would lock down all 3 lanes. I can tell you that as a certainty.
Okay.
Have hours of operation been discussed for the car wash?
They would have standard hours, likely open until 10 p.m., 9 p.m. some nights, and then they would open between 8 and 10 ordinarily.
Okay.
During that time frame.
I share a lot of the concerns that Trustee Holzhauser initially brought up too. It's directly adjacent to a horse farm, and I know the vacuums whine in, the car wash is not quiet in that proximity to an existing horse farm that's been there for a while. it doesn't seem like the right time or the right place, in my opinion, and like was previously stated, there's a lot going on. Just yesterday, I was at another establishment very similar to this, with multiple things happening inside, a car wash and gas. 2 of the gas pumps were tied up by electric vehicles with people inside at the other establishments, where it's just, it was kind of chaos. There's trucks blocking everything, people can't get around. It just seems like there's a lot happening at once. And we go from more of a rural to a residential, we've got a horse farm, and all of a sudden, bam, you're into this type of commercial. I'd like to see a little bit of a transition into our more developed commercial area, not just that instant change like this shows. So.
Mind if I made a bit of a statement? Ordinarily, I have at the village board level, and it appears we've got some new members. Sure. All right. Let me pick up where the issue of noise left off. The car wash was purposely designed so that it faced east and west, and the vacuums to be on the Bell Road side. There is not a noise issue from any of the speakers. There's not a noise issue from the car wash. As far as design of the site goes for the gas station, this is a larger gas station footprint. Okay, if you think about this property, just over 3 acres, and compare it to a project I'm working on for a gas station at Woolley Road and Plainfield Road in Oswego. The lots are about the same size, but the developable area is about 50% for a gas station. They have roughly the same number of cars. They have 2 restaurants inside, gaming, and a large beer cave. Now, that site is tight. This site is spread out. We can actually confirm for you that the reason why the site does not allow semi-trucks is because we designed it that way. We didn't want to have semi-tractor trailers pulling in to that site, buying there easily, where there are other commercial vehicles doing it over small. That was the village's interest. The 2 prior times I took this project through and got the approvals. Nothing has changed in the area, period.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I understand this was identical, nearly identical to what was approved back in 2023. And basically the permitting just expired. So when you had that approval for 3 years, why didn't we move forward during that time?
Well, that's a great question. At the start of this, there were moratorium in play. Alcohol, tobacco, and gaming. Try running that at the flagpole at your finance camp at the bank. I'm sorry, we'd like to get our financing in order. We don't want to pay out of pocket for this. We do want to finance it. Well, what are your revenue streams, and how many of them does the municipality allow? Oh, I'm sorry, there's no tobacco allowed now. There's no alcohol, and there's no gaming. I was at meeting after meeting after meeting after the first approval, watching what happened, trying to participate, assisting in the ordinance and trying to help folks in the next room over understand how the regulations impact business on the private side. A lot of time went into that. Eventually we got through it. Over the course of that time, we ended up having a couple issues trying to reach utilities. NICOR is at point right now for its responsiveness. Our subdivision was recorded for this. It wasn't like it sat and nothing happened. The subdivision plat was recorded. We kept continuous communications with Menard, who wants the project to come in. As far as the delay goes, there was something else that happened on the village side. I can't remember what that was. I don't think the gaming side was ever fully vetted, fully answered.
The ordinance had changed.
I think it was amended a second time, right?
It was amended.
So the issue that we faced was that when you have a pipeline and you have an area of Bell Road that you're working on that has this turbulence, what gets in the pipeline ahead of it? Your builder needs to be on site working on something, or we can sit and wait for things in Homer Glen to go forward. We can do a final design on projects and spec everything out at the cost then and order, or we can see when it settles and actually do it in the same order that you ordinarily do it, where you get your final specs in and get your permit filed when you know you're going to build. Now, there was a point in time where 110,000 square feet in a shopping center, these guys are big players. 110,000 square foot shopping center has been almost completely renovated over the course of the last 18 months. That got into the pipeline because of the delays in Homer Glen that we faced. Okay, and those had a ripple effect. Certainly when we got back into the pipeline, we understood that there was an expiration of the special use, but the analysis in my mind isn't, did it expire? And can we just deny it outright? I think the analysis is, well, let's think this through. Have there been any changes in the area? Has Menards gotten any busier? Has the Arby's, which is somewhat level in its performance, he's friends of the owner of NSS Group. They know each other. Everybody here is working towards a common goal. Except for what I'm hearing here is we're now having new concerns about noise that don't exist. We're hearing about illegal turns, illegal traffic movements. You don't presume a violation of the law in denying a zoning application. When it comes to noise, there's never been an issue of noise until someone came out from Rivera's horse farm saying that they ride their horses towards the car wash, and they're worried about someone honking their horn and startling a horse. I'm sorry, that happens on Bell Road. This entry configuration was a concern that I'm lost on. That access road that is shown on this plan has been on every single plan at the Village of Homer Glen since 2002. At least the ones we could find, because we couldn't even find the original PUD one. The ones that we could find have this access road shown. And the grade has always been the grade. Rancho Rivera's is at the low end. When rain falls, it flows downhill. Okay, now, as far as in transition, there are a handful of things that came up in the last meeting. Rivera's folks said, I heard you have to be 3,000 feet from residential. No such thing. There's no such thing. The gas station I mentioned in Forest View is right next door to it. In fact, I think our manager lives one home over, sharing the same fence. Now, the other gas stations that you see, if you think about Roosevelt Road, any gas station on Roosevelt Road, a lot of gas stations on 95th Street, what are those back up to? Residents. Okay, they coexist. It's not like you're going to be smelling people. All these machines, all the pumps are so technologically advanced now that you don't have these fume situations. Cars are designed so you don't have them. As far as intensity of use on site, you're going to have your ordinary ebb and flow for a gas station. On the 24-hour operation, I wasn't quite sure where, I think it was Commissioner Lyon. She was concerned that the 24-hour operation didn't fit. Yet, you've got 24-hour operations all over the place, including the medical center. Most folks deserve a nice place to get their gas. These corner lots today, a lot of people think, well, we got corner lots in town today. Those corner lots don't work for gas stations today.
Can you explain why?
They want consolidated access. They don't want to have multiple points of access. All right, so here we have one point of access in the frontage road, and within that we have one access to go to the pay stations, one to the vacuum cleaner, and two drives into the C-store. That is your best traffic. That's optimal for traffic flow coming off the shared access road in the village. You'll never get that directly off streets, ever. Which means you're going to have people wandering on a corner lot that has a car wash and gas station. On a corner lot, you're going to have a situation where people meander through the pump areas this same business was Howard and McCormick on the north side of Chicago, Skokie. It's across from the MWRD. In that instance, IDOT made us close, I believe, 2 driveways and convert a full access to a right-out only. Okay, so this is I mean, this is a dream for designing a gas station, and it does, it works well. When you take a look at what we were able to do with a lot of the changes that Melissa King suggested, she loved her landscape. You have a fully planted landscape island along what is essentially a frontage road. And you got a ton of landscaping throughout the site. All that landscaping has an effect of making it look better. That is a good practice for buffering in a transition area, and it's not a transition area. You go from Rancho Riveras, which is ag, yes, but it isn't the Bell Road corridor. And your comprehensive plan has always said this site is commercial. Your annexation agreement with Menard said it's always commercial. Every permitted and special use will be available for properties in this area, in this subdivision. Menards is no small use. Between us and the homes west of us, about 600 feet maybe, lies the entry and operation for their outdoor yard.
All right, I'm gonna pause this for a minute, okay? Because this just seems like a lot to unpack in this motion here. I do have questions myself. So the first question is, there will be no semi-trucks, correct?
There will be no semi-trucks.
0. I see in this motion here where number 5, it says a special use for a 24-hour operation on lot 2 only. And when I look at this sign plan on page 114 of this packet that we have here, the lot 2 looks like the proposed building for 7,715 square feet. Is that the correct lot we're looking at? And that is proposed to be the beef sandwich place, is that correct? So you're proposing to have a 24-hour beef sandwich?
No.
Okay.
We're proposing to have a 24-hour C-store that runs the gas station 24 hours.
A seat store?
Yeah, there's a convenience store.
Convenience store, so not the beef sandwich place?
The beef place could come along, there's no need for it to do it now.
Okay.
It's like Lenny's,
So what I have to do is just be cautious of the future and future requests as well. I'm assuming you're going to ask for a liquor license since it's a gas station and you want to sell packaged liquor, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Are you going to be asking for gaming at some point?
That is something that we left open for discussion with you a couple of years ago.
Okay.
That is one of the things that we never got clear about. The decision, I think, that was made last November, December, I can't remember if it was Jamie or Chris that had reached out. They asked, how are you going to do this? We said, look, if the game is not settled at the village, we can go in the state because we sell diesel.
So you do, that was my next question. You're going to sell diesel. So you will be looking for 10 machines in the gas station itself?
Well, we're looking for 10 machines according to the floor plan.
In the gas station, though?
It could be in the gas station, but the floor plan is part of your approval. The design floor plan isn't something that we're going to ignore.
Okay, so I'm asking you a straight up question. When you go into the gas station, because it looks like these buildings are separate, you've got your convenience store and you have your gas station, correct? Or is it all attached in one? Because that's not what it looks like to me, but,
It's all within a main wall, and then there's a partial wall between the north end of the convenience store and the south end of where Scotland's Beef is.
okay. So if you were, so you're not going to be asking for 10 machines in a gas station? It's kind of like you're talking in a circle, and I want to get right to the center of that circle. Like you're doing, I know where this is going, so I want to get right to it. So is the proposed plan is to open up a diesel gas station, because with diesel comes trucks. I don't believe Bell Road is a truck route, correct?
With diesel comes
It's not.
commercial vehicles that use diesel.
Understood. I understand what a diesel vehicle is. My point is, if you have a diesel gas station, you could be allowed to have 10 gaming machines inside the gas station. But you also, it looks like, you're asking for a 24-hour operation in Lot 2, which doesn't specifically say if it's in the beef sandwich store or if it's in the gas station or where. So I want to be specific on what we're talking about. I know you're not asking for a gaming license right now. I understand that. I understand you're not even asking for liquor right now. But I need to understand what the future of these buildings are going to be, just for my own sound of mind.
There will be a 24-hour operation selling gas, a 24-hour convenience store. Scally's Beef is the only part of that that will not open 24 hours starting. So the permission is for the 24 hours on lot 2 because it's possible that Scally's Beef could have a thin menu, which is and
Right, because I see that there's a menu included for Scally's Beef in here, which looks as if you're planning already to have a beef sandwich place in there.
right.
Okay, so you are planning on having a beef sandwich place in there?
We are planning on having it.
Okay, because just 5 minutes ago you said we're not sure it might come. I think there's just a lot of
I said we're not sure if they start at 24 hours. We don't think they would. It's not likely.
We can amend that too.
Of course. I just don't like the back and forth and we're not being straight up, in my opinion. I just don't feel like things are being very clear here. So I just want straight answers, and that's all I'm asking for.
The reason why there's no explanation of why each item, what each operation will do on an hours basis is because lot 2 was planned to be entirely approved for 24-hour operations. Scally's Beef is a small part of that 7,700 square foot building.
Okay, so as you stand in front of me today, my question is very simple. You have diesel. Is the goal to have gaming?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Yes is what I wanted to hear. Just, that's all the answer I needed.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Is the gaming for each facility, because I saw where you were going with that question, so can they have gaming in the beef place, in the gas station place, in the...
We don't have the designs for that. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. I don't know where this is going.
Or is this considered one compound?
It's not clear to me. Well, you can only have so many machines per license anyways.
Okay.
But we also have the right to approve or deny, because we only have so many to give. I just feel like this is not clear to me. I don't mind if there's a gas station. I really don't. I do mind, I like the transition idea. I understand we can't tell you to transition from a horse farm, or I get it, we can't do that. Or I wouldn't propose to do that. Like, it would be nice. I can't force you to. But I just thought it'd be more, the number 5 under the motion of consideration, it just does not seem very clear to me. And then as I was reading through the notes, it says that this beef sandwich, whatever it's called, was possibly open to 11, and it said maybe open till midnight. So there's real no certainty. And I think that's where the village gets itself in trouble sometimes, because we're not very specific on wording.
Near the floor plan, I think it might be page 136, when I print out 11 by 17.
Is that my package? Go ahead. No.
The C-store in the back, and it doesn't show 10
I don't have page 136,
There's 2 of them.
because there's 2 packets, but this says 104, 108, 114. Mine only goes up to 121.
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah, I don't have
136 either.
this. Okay, so what is this?
last week's packet, because I was here last week, is, I'll get a larger set and see if I can.
Gaming area right there.
Is that showing the footprint?
Yeah.
That does. It shows the footprint in the break.
Yeah, I see that.
So
Here we go.
what you have on the inside, Scally's Beef is on the south. All right? You see a service counter, and you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 machines.
Okay.
All right? And then in the C-store area, all you have is retail, coffee station, storage. The wall in the middle is a partial wall. It says 4 feet 6 inch high wall with glazing above. Okay, so that's the
Thank you.
business.
Okay. Good. Good, yeah.
Council, just real quick, where where we have the cashier section and we have all that retail there, the C-store, is that the registers in the area where people are going to be walking in to pay for the gasoline and those sorts of things? Okay, and I don't see anything on this floor plan that now, correct me if I'm wrong, this floor plan is part of your approval for this special use, correct? This is how you're depicting it, this is how the floor plan's going to be for the board to consider their approval.
This is how we depicted it. Now, I will say that we reached out after the last approval to talk about the specific design for gaming. What did the village prefer for its floor plan? This is after the approval. I personally handled that outreach and made the phone call. And I said, we are hoping to talk to you about what you prefer to see for gaming if that floor plan is not what you prefer to see. And if we go to the state, we'd like to discuss the parameters of that and how to implement all the other stuff. I mean, we still want to work collaboratively with Homer Glen on this project, whether it's a state license or a local. We're both.
You have to have both to have a gaming license. Yeah, I didn't have this in mind. I did look through my whole package.
It was in the packet from 2 weeks back.
Yeah, but anything can change within 2 weeks.
And may I say something?
Yeah.
So, Council, just for clarification, so this attachment 18, this floor plan to the left, and I believe that you said that was the south, the area where I believe the eatery is going to be, that has proposes 6 gaming machines at some point in the future being there, and then to the east, which is the C-store, there's nothing there. Is that the current intention of your client as far as what they plan, how they plan on using this space?
That is our current intention. If you wanted to discuss shifting it around during that process, we'd be happy to discuss it and try to coordinate with what you prefer to use as you walk into the store. And there's a floor plan that's to do with every gaming application at whatever level you apply. So I don't have an issue.
I just want to have hands tied.
I think Chris has something he wants to add.
Yes.
No, I didn't have anything.
Oh.
I was just going to say that all the plans that were, I'm sorry, Mayor, that if you didn't have a floor plan, it should have been included in the packet, but all the plans that are before the board is what is going to be built, is what would be built. So that's why I try to get, a fine level of detail for all of this, so.
The only test is whether it substantially conforms. And I would be willing to bet you my last dollar that if the liquor commissioner is looking at this and saying, I'd rather have this there, or maybe have one less cooler, and Chris looks at it and makes a decision on whether it substantially conforms, he's probably going to say it does.
You're not before us to ask for a liquor license, though, right now.
Well, it's part of the gaming.
I understand that, sir, but right now you're not in front of me. We're not voting on gaming, are we? That's not part of what we're voting on. We're not voting on gaming. We're voting on you putting a gas station there.
So.
And a car wash. That's what we're voting on. So I wanted to know what the future is going to bring, because I'm not going to have my hand or this board's hands tied to something that is not presented to us today. So
It's all presented. This is, everything's there. Even the floor plan for the car wash. You know where the dog wash is.
So I think what's going to happen, Madam Mayor, is if we pass today's, we give him the go-ahead, but he still has to come back in front of you, because at some point he's going to have to ask for the liquor license. And when he asks for the liquor license, at that time, you could be saying, what I think you just alluded to was, I'd like to see this here at that point, and you'd be willing to work within those constraints. Because we're not voting on that right now, that piece.
what I'm saying is, if he's saying this is included and it shows that he wants gaming on here, because you can see the machines, then I don't want to be beholden to this floor plan.
Well, it's not in our packet even.
But he's claiming that this is what we're voting on. It's in some, it's not in all. But either way, I'm just saying, if I want everyone to know what they're voting on, because are we beholden to this if this is what they vote on today? Because I know the liquor license and the gaming part's not in front of us, but if I have a floor plan that says with machines in it, it's kind of blurry on what they're voting on, in my opinion.
I see.
I don't want to be beholden to something later on.
And are we at that point, Chris?
No, I didn't think so. I mean, yes, I mean, everything should kind of be built more toward the floor plan, but, you know, I guess sans the gaming, you know, because that's separate. So, but everything else, I would think, is how it should be built.
This would be a first for me. I've never sought zoning relief in this situation and not shown an area for gaming if the intent is to have gaming. We're going to ask for it down the road.
Oh, and I think that this be
No. I actually appreciate that. My problem is, it wasn't in here, on this portion here. It wasn't in my packet, as you can see, because I have it right here. And nothing was discussed about it, right? I mean, we know that gas stations want to come in, let's be honest, when they put diesel in, their intent is to have gaming, okay? We know this. I wanted to make sure that this board knew in advance, and then I get this put in front of me, which I didn't have, kind of makes me think, what, like, I don't want to be, again, I'll say again, beholden to something that this board did not be aware of. And then it gets even more confusing because this is Lot 2 with the gaming, and then it says 24 operation. Does this mean that all of this is going to be 24-hour operation? Do you see where I'm going with that?
Lot 2 is eligible for 24-hour operations. All right, now remember, your 24-hour operations is not 24 hours. Okay? It's not. Anything past 11.
If we put that in writing, then it is.
However, in this booklet, it says your restaurant will be open till 11, possibly 12. Possibly is not a word that we can,
Right.
we have to be more affirmative
Precise.
of what we're saying.
Regulate your businesses to that extent.
If they have a gaming license and a liquor license, absolutely. If they have a liquor license to 1 a.m. and they're operating to 2 or 3 a.m., yeah, that's a problem.
But if the liquor license allows you to sell liquor until a certain time, and there's another aspect of the business, what happens? What if it's a breakfast place? What if it stays open 24 hours and they just stop selling liquor under the license as they should? The restaurant serving non-alcoholic beverages still stays open.
Joe, do we have any restaurants or anything that sells liquor that has this situation?
No.
No.
So I think.
Yeah, well, welcome.
Madam Mayor, 1 second.
Yeah, but my point is, it's not clear, it's not talked
It's
about.
not precise.
It's not precise. I'm okay with a 24-hour gas station.
Right.
I'm not okay with a 24-hour bar
Or gaming.
Because what I'm saying is, as the liquor commissioner, I'm not going to be beholden to something that I don't.
I get it.
So, I mean, it's up to you guys. I'm just pointing out things that this, to me, does not seem clear. And it also says 6 a.m., between 6 a.m. Our liquor license doesn't even start at 6 a.m. So I'm just pointing out misfacts.
What happens?
So, Madam Mayor,
The C-store and gas station will obviously be open at 6 a.m. There are times when Scally's Beef may have catering business to prepare for, if they're busy, because they will be doing catering service. Okay, they have carry-out and they have deliveries, all right? The reality is that you're going to have business activity if we have a liquor license where the cabinets are locked, and you can't sell that. Happens.
State law.
It happens at Jewel, it happens at gas stations. It doesn't matter. They respect those hours. You don't control the general hours of the business through liquor license.
Madam Mayor, may I ask a question?
Please.
Can't we pass, I think that, and I'll get to my point in a second, but I think the concern is the liquor. I think the concern is the gaming being 24 hours. I like it that there's no semi-traffic. It is a larger footprint. It's already been passed by us once before. They just didn't go forward because of our own ordinance, and we created some of the problem. I understand that. The Plan Commission voted in favor. The board voted in favor. There was no opposition on the. So I think he's trying to do is work with us on it. I do like, and it's a captive audience for you, the one way in, the one way out kind of thing, coming off of Bell Road. Can't we pass with conditions, and that being hours of operation, or?
It's already in condition, you already have conditions.
Well, we can add.
But I'm saying it's consideration, with the conditions, and then it's written in there. I just asked for clarity on number 5. That's the main thing. I don't care if you have a gas station. I don't care if you got a car wash. I don't care if you have a beef stand. I just want to make sure that it's clear on what they're voting on. And
Right.
clearly, it doesn't seem like anybody knew that part.
And,
so-
and I agree with that. I absolutely agree that it's got to be precise. It's got to be, you know, we can't say with assumptions. I absolutely, and Mike, you and I have had this conversation several times on a couple different instances. And no, we have to be precise of what we're allowing or not allowing, because if we open ourselves up, then it's anybody's guess of the interpretation.
Is the gas station, I forgot what the name of it is. Is the gas station on 159th Street in Calgary, is that 24-hour gaming?
I believe it is.
I can't remember, but that's inside the gas station. They don't have a bar where you can sell alcohol on
Correct.
premises, right? This
Correct.
is a packaged place.
No, it's
You can sell
package.
alcohol. You
It's
can sell-
package.
Yeah, it's package.
Right.
If you're 24 hours and you're selling package, whatever. But I don't want to have a 24-hour bar
Right.
going where people can drink and gamble all night long throughout the night.
Right. I get what you're saying.
I'm sorry?
You cannot have a 24-hour bar. Liquor licensing is yours. You will not give us that.
I understand that. What I'm saying is I don't want to be held beholden because of something. Trust me.
Because it says 24 hours.
But it's the general business hours. It's not covering liquor licensing. If you adopted an ordinance that says you can't sell liquor or tobacco before noon, any day of the week, we can be open before noon, but we can't sell what's prohibited.
Ask Joe what the general operating hours of the business are outside 24 hours.
Well, the general operating hours vary based on the day. So it's 7 a.m., I think, is the earliest time that they could sell alcohol. During the week, it's 1 a.m., and on the weekends, it's 2 a.m. That's the general. But my issue, what I'm saying is, if this portion of this bar is in the gas station part, because this is where people come and pay, and there's a bar there, yeah, the bar could be closed down, and they will be, because we're not going to allow them to sell alcohol, and people are still buying gas. Is the games still 24 hours? That's what I was asking. Was the other gas station 24 hours?
That's the nature of the license.
I was talking to the village manager. Can you give me a moment?
I
Thank you.
guess what we're talking about here is the gaming, how it's tied to the liquor license and the hours of operation of the liquor license.
Right.
So the gaming should be tied into the liquor license, and the hours of operation, or their legal operation to sell liquor, should be the same for the gaming.
Right.
Okay. I think Scheller has.
May I say something? Would you be comfortable with that, council, like making a condition of the special use, exactly what the village manager just said? That any future gaming would be bound by whatever the alcohol licensing hours were?
So the proposal is that we abandon the ability to have a state license and not sell any alcohol type of game.
What are you
No.
talking?
No.
There's a state license available. That's the problem.
Okay.
I think that's where we're.
Yeah, I think I think this is,
You can obtain a state gaming
yes,
license.
okay, so diesel, if he is diesel, gas stations are allowed to have gaming. They're actually allowed to have up to 10 machines, depending on how much gallons of diesel they sell, okay? In our rules, the liquor license is allowed from 7 a.m. on Sundays, that's the earliest, and then 1 a.m. during the week, 2 p.m., or 2 a.m. on the weekends, okay? What we're saying is, my confusion is number 5 in the conditions, where it says a special use for a 24-hour operation. It doesn't say anything about with the liquor, there's actually nothing proposed here about liquor gaming, but it's this floor plan that's throwing me through the loop, because it's in his floor plan. There's a menu attached. There's things in this packet that's included, but that's not included in this. And we know that this has happened to us in the past, where we don't have all the information in the packet and up front that we're voting on, but yet things in the packet are included that are not on the motion sheet, okay?
I'm sorry, but you have this each time I've been before you the last 3 years. Same menu, essentially, was before the village the last time you had a role in approving that project. The menu hasn't changed.
Sir, I am not disagreeing with you on your gas. All right, I'm going to take a moment. I'm going Should I call for a vote? Are you guys ready to vote?
Mayor, may I?
Yeah.
Just, I think what we need to look at is tying any potential gaming tied to the hours operation of alcohol, sale of
Yes.
alcohol.
That's what I've been trying to get out, but
That's
I
it.
wanted to make sure he understands, but he keeps throwing the
Yes.
state liquor license, which you need both to operate, so that's up to you guys. You guys make the motion, you guys vote. Do as you wish. Make an amendment.
Would you be willing to,
It's not-
under
it's-
the village manager's discretion here and the statement just now, willing to have your gaming within the ordinance of the liquor license? The hours of operation?
But this is what he's saying. That's why I'm asking, does it's Lenny's Gas and Wash, right? Or what's the name?
Yeah, it's
Is
gas and
that
wash.
24-hour gaming? His game,
I can't say for sure.
I believe it is.
there's one pet peeve I have, and everybody knows it is when I get cut off when each other are speaking. Joe Baber is, I believe Lenny's is 24-hour. I don't have a problem with the machines operating 24 hours. I don't even care that the packaged liquor is being sold 24 hours because gas stations do it if they're open, right? I don't know if we even have any other gas stations that are. I don't know if Lenny's is open 24 hours. We have to look at what their ordinance is because I don't want alcohol being sold at the same exact time. And this, and this, and this is all doesn't mirror each other, is what I'm saying. So if you guys are going to vote on this, it should be very clear what you're voting on.
Is there a chance I can make 3 very clear statements?
Sure.
We will never sell liquor, beer, or wine outside of the hours you authorize pursuant to a Homer Glen license. Period.
Great.
Explanation.
Okay, but we know what's said at meetings and what's not in the motions can be two different things. Sir, you don't understand a bit what it's like being on this board. It's happened.
At some point, I have to rely on council to tell you it would be illegal for us to do it.
It would.
We have Bassett trained, we have folks that are trained, you have sting operations. It would be ludicrous for us to sell liquor beyond the hours allowed by the license. And again, that is presuming a violation of the law in a way that's negative towards the zoning application, which is what we don't do. We have too many operations, too many licenses. Both Mr. Scally and Mr. Yaku have way too many licenses issued to come to Homer Glen and try to sell liquor, beer, or wine outside of the hours authorized by your code. It doesn't happen.
I understand that.
It's just not the way it's written.
Where?
That's my point.
The code is written that way.
Okay. I'm going to call point of order. Are you guys ready to vote? Are you ready to make an amendment? What are you doing?
I'll ask a question. If it does pass, are you going to start construction in how long?
Permits would have come in if we had our vote last meeting. We're on the doorstep.
Ready to go.
Why this is so important. When you ask for more clarification or a meeting on this, this is next week that we're talking about.
Ma'am?
Sure, go ahead, Mike.
Overall, I know you're asking for 12 exceptions to PUD. I know this is a dream build for the developer. I'm not sure the residents of Homer Glen feel the same way for another gas station, another car wash, more convenience store, another fast food, tobacco, alcohol, more gaming. What works at 95th and Roosevelt may not be in the best interest of Homer Glen. Thank you.
Anybody else have any final comments before the vote? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason?
Pass.
Trustee Schaller?
Yes. Aye.
Trustee Lepore?
No.
Trustee Muller?
No.
Trustee Holzhauser?
No.
Trustee Mason?
Yes.
Motion fails.
I have a lawsuit this week. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to number 3. Consider for approval a proclamation retroactively celebrating Arbor Day.
We're going to have to,
What?
we're going to,
Number 3?
no, we're going to have to motion to reconsider it because the findings of fact had for approval. So we have to put in findings of fact that we have to go through each of those findings of fact and amend them. And
We'll call for it because to me, it's just unclear.
Do you want to bring it back to the plan commission for that purpose, or do you want to just outright deny it?
I didn't vote on this. I don't know. You can, they can call, go ahead, make your recommendation.
No,
Make a recommendation, please.
the recommendation that the recommendation that I have is because of all the time that this has been before everyone, is to refer it back or to table it temporarily, just so that these issues that I think many of the trustees have that I've heard up here can be potentially clarified. The law gives you 3 options, or four, well, actually you have 4. You can table it, you can also refer it back to the Plan Commission, or you can approve it with certain conditions or certain conditions removed, or you can outright deny it. So there's multitude of bases that you all have at your disposal here. So I think my recommendation is that you move to reconsider it and at least potentially suspend the rules and at least have the trustees discuss some of those potentials, other alternatives.
That's up to them. The
That's
motion
what
to
I was
reconsider.
trying to do earlier, was move to have conditions so it read properly, and I understand exactly what you were saying,
Why
Mayor.
don't, I mean, I don't mean to interrupt, but why don't, I think the best move would be to move to reconsider what was previously been denied. And then you can have debate on what those other potential actions this board can do and consider short of an outright
I
denial.
would like to move to reconsider the actions of the prior decision.
Is there a second?
Second.
Trustee Shaler. Okay, then is there a motion to suspend the rules for?
No, you want, now there's a vote on the motion to reconsider.
Is there a vote on the motion to reconsider?
On,
Aye.
Aye.
ma'am, you have to call, you have to call.
Oh, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Shaler.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
No.
Trustee Muller.
Clarification.
Basically, you're voting on a new discussion, so you guys can clarify the questions in the motion.
What, ma'am, may I speak? Just
Yeah.
for an information. What you're doing is you're moving to reconsider the formal action that was previously taken, based upon my recommendation that there are several other alternatives that the board could potentially take that should be discussed before final action is taken on this.
Aye.
Okay. We're going to start with Trustee Mason. Why don't you break down the motion for consideration that you would like clarity on?
The motion for consideration that I was trying to get clarity on was basically the same thing that you were saying, which was you wanted to make sure the way it read in our packet, because it's not specific enough, was the hours of operation of selling the alcohol. But I agree with legal over here and our own ordinance, which is they wouldn't be able to sell liquor within the same hours of the complete operation without going in front of you for.
Which, by law, what our liquor code says is what the liquor hours of sales is, okay?
Right.
So we all know that someone comes before us and says, I want a liquor license for this. Our code says they can't do it, they can only sell it from here to here.
Right.
We know that. This little portion, I didn't want to hang over our head to say,
Agreed.
no, this motion overruled what you said. Or I just,
Agreed.
even though I know that it can't, I want it clear to you guys for this. So
Understood, and I agree.
I also don't like being threatened with a lawsuit, number one, but we could also be liable for a second lawsuit if we only let one gas station do it and not the other. That's why I want to know, do we allow the other gas station to do this or not? Can we find out now? Can somebody go find out the liquor, I mean, the hours of operations for Lenny's?
For Lenny's at 159th and
Yes. Yeah.
Gauger?
Yes.
Be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
So for that,
Yeah. Yeah, because I like it to be clear and written well, because I understand exactly what you're saying, because it will be held over our heads if what we pass tonight that's written in front of us is not in accordance and exactly the same. I agree with you 100%. That's where I was trying to get earlier. Otherwise, I'm fine with everything else.
we don't have any other restaurants that can open 24 hours.
Right.
Well, and Madam Mayor,
Mm-hmm.
so If the concern before the board is the 24-hour grant of business operations by way of a special use, that is something that this board, by way of an amendment, can excise from your grant of the special use, meaning you can remove that from the special use authority that you're giving them by denying that specific request, which is a 24-hour operation. Now, it doesn't mean that it's gone forever. What it would mean is, after you've had an opportunity to view the operation and see how it worked, if the applicant wanted to come back in and apply for a 24-hour operation, then you can consider it at that time after it went through the proper channels by way of the Plan Commission and before you.
And that's what I was trying to say earlier.
Again,
So those, and
yes.
again, those are just some of the additional things that the board can discuss at this point, since the rules have been suspended temporarily and you've reconsidered your previous denial of all of the ordinance that was before you.
So from what I'm hearing, according to the last vote, certain trustees just didn't like the development in its entirety because for whatever reasons. Some of you were okay with it, but just wanted clarity on the 24 hours.
That's it. That's the way I read it.
Just to clarify what was going on, the circle talk going on. So once Mr. Gruba comes back, we'll
Right.
know, because what we do for one, I don't want to either open up floodgates for everybody else or open ourselves up to liability on the other side.
Correct.
So I just want clarity.
Right, and then we can clean up the language. We can either remove the 24 hours under those conditions.
Well, there's a lot, Trustee Mason, there's a whole slew of things that you could potentially do. Right?
Okay. Well, I'll let you take control once we know what's happening, because, no, that was the hangup. That was definitely the hangup, in my opinion. Now, it may be different for the other trustees.
Does any other trustees have any questions, comments, concerns? Trustee Muller, your thoughts on this? You just don't like the project in itself, or you just, what's your concerns?
I'm torn on a handful of different concerns and questions I have. I don't know how many more gas station, car wash, convenience stores, fast food establishments we need. It's every stretch of road, every corner, every time you turn around, I can get fuel in my truck, I can buzz through the car wash. I don't know if it's what the residents want, and I know, you know, it's the damned if you do, damned if you don't. A lot of times where you say no, people are going to say, oh, you know, it's tax revenue. You say yes, it's one more gaming, liquor, gas station establishment. Like I said, I don't like that rural, open, wooded field horse farm. Boom, right next door we have this huge development going on with possibly a blanket 24-hour statement that covers all of it, to whirling, buzzing car wash vacuums and the equipment running and buzzers going and flashing lights.
So can I just pause you for a second? So the property that's next to it is, if it's a horse farm, it's most likely zoned ag.
Correct.
Okay. This property is zoned currently a C2. Okay. So the ag people know that their property is next to a commercial. So although I feel for the horse farm, just like all the other developments, you know what you're getting yourself into. Like my parents bought here back behind a golf course, and now it's a park, right? So I can't control what somebody wants to put on their property if it's well within the realm of their asking.
I don't like the...
Well said.
Yeah. Go ahead.
May I say something?
Please.
And, you know, in additional to, even if,
Hypothetically, let's say you granted the special use, and let's say they bought this vacuum that had the most ridiculous screeching noise to the extent that the horse farm, everybody else can barely think. Well, that would be subject to an independent nuisance action, which we could bring, or the board could still regulate that. Just because you grant a special use for the car wash per se, let's just say hypothetically, doesn't mean that the way that car wash effectively operates can't be controlled and regulated. If, for instance, after a year of operation, they find that the parking is a mess, or that there's other sorts of issues that raise health, safety, and welfare issues, that can be regulated, okay? So I just wanted to make it clear that those are still powers that the board would be able to do by way of regulation in the future. They're not simply just stuck with, well, you had a car wash, therefore any sort of activity in the car wash has been approved as not subject to regulation. Not true. It certainly can be subject to regulation if the board finds that there is a nuisance value or some sort of infringement upon the health, safety, and welfare of the public.
Right. And again, I have the concerns about like this blanket 24-hour operation. It's just, what is it? Is it, right now, it's everything. It's the way it reads, we said the clarification.
Well, that's what it kind of comes down
I have
to.
one other, what might sound like a nonsensical question or observation in these prints. It's a 147.5-foot long building with a restaurant, gaming, bar, all this other stuff. And we approved 2 single-use toilets on the very back corner of it. It seems like there's a lot going on. Like, what, this is the floor plan that's approved. It's like, are we shooting ourselves in the foot with creating a disaster in more ways than not?
Mr. Gerba, did you?
Yes, excuse me, I talked to some of those employees at that gas and wash at that 159th and Gallagher. They're open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. The car wash is open 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Gambling is 24 hours. Liquor is only not sold from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Not sold. 1
Not
to 6
sold.
Not
1 a.m. to 6
1 to 6 a.m.
Correct.
Our ordinance for liquor sales is 7 a.m., correct? Okay, we might have to, we're going to have to go
Might
back
have to
to
check
that
on
one.
them.
But, all right. But that's another, as we just heard, that people won't do that, right? But we just clearly found out that people do. So we'll just look into that as a separate issue. So that's the concern. If you're in this place, right, selling liquor or, food, we don't have any other food establishment that's open 24 hours. Taco Bell's not open 24 hours. We don't have Wendy's open 24 hours. We don't have Blueberry Hill open 24 hours.
Well, within 159th and Gallagher, there's a Dunkin' Donuts, there's the Tanqueria, which is a Mexican restaurant within, and I believe they shut down at a certain time.
Yeah.
So it's not 24 hours on the restaurants or the convenience area of it, right? Oh, yes, the sales of the convenience and stuff is still there, but not the restaurant portions of it.
Got it. Okay, Trustee Muller, did you get all of your questions out of the way? Okay, Trustee Schaller, did you have any specifics of this?
More of an observation. The issue what I see with a majority of these is this very fluid nature of what gas stations are morphing into. It's a multi-use, multi-tenant under one roof. I think what blurs the lines here is if the knee wall was a solid wall and it had its own entrance, we probably wouldn't be in a lot of this discussion. I think we get very blurred here when it's one large 7,400 square foot building where you have multiple tenants, let's say, and it's just this open space, very fluid business. I understand it. I voted yes for it. I still don't have an issue with it. That's just my observation.
Because what I'm hearing you say, because this was my original concern, is if the games were on the gas station side, where the restaurant portion was then shut down, because if people are going, just think about it this way. If people are going to go in and the food is still going 24 hours a day, right, then people are going to sit down, grab food, and just keep going. I don't want to encourage that. So, I mean, if the games were, and that's why I said, are we beholden to this floor plan? Because if the games were on the other side and this area was shut down, because what tenant, are these the same tenant? Is it one tenant? Is it two tenant? Who's getting the gaming? Is it the beef place or is it the gas station? Because I don't want to have to go, okay, the gaming's now got, the
Well, maybe
restaurant's
legal
got
can
six.
answer, maybe legal can
I'm
answer.
not entertaining that right now. And then there's 10 on this side. Is it two separate tenants?
That's what I was wondering.
And now are they looking at 16? I want to be very clear on what this is, because this is a half wall, as it was said, shared place. I understand gas stations don't have to have a full operating service kitchen. This one does, but this one is shutting down when? Do you see, if these machines were moved over here, this would be a different story.
Okay.
And I was wondering exactly the same thing. Was the
But
other
now-
facility going to get gaming as well?
Right, so, but now you have, if you move them over here, is this one now going to ask for gaming from their liquor hour licenses? So now are we working with 16? Is this one gaming? Is this two gaming? Is this one occupant? Or is this one person? Not yet. My attorney, do you have anything to add on that? Because you see my point on this?
I certainly see what your questions are in regards to how that could potentially impact the 10 criteria that we have by way of ordinance that have to be found in order for a special use to be granted. So just as a point of information for all of the board members, you have to go through those criteria. Council's correct in that you can't presume a violation of the law for purposes of denying somebody's zoning application. You have to presume that businesses and all people are going to follow the law and do the right thing. We don't not give something or grant something out of fear that they're going to break the law. That's not how the process works, certainly. And I'm just for point of clarification to everyone, just to make sure that there's no confusion there, that you cannot assume or presume that any applicant for a zoning entitlement will violate the law or violate an ordinance or any of those sorts of things. So just for purposes of
But
the
he
record,
may
I'm
not
saying
be
that.
violating.
I'm not saying he's violating, I'm not
Right.
assuming he's going to violate. I have full faith
Sure.
that he's going to work within the law. I guess what I'm saying is if we're approving this whole building to be 24 hours,
It's the two businesses.
is it gas station and a business? Is this the same owner? And it's not clear. Does anybody else, do you know? Is it two owners?
No, that's
Do you know?
exactly what I was thinking very early on, was is this two businesses? Is it a restaurant within a gas station? And now we have two businesses. The restaurant now gets gaming, the gas station also gets, as you stated, Madam Mayor, now we're at 16 machines versus 10 because they sold diesel.
Trustee Laporte, do you have any clarity on any of this? Because I want to give them all the floor all at once.
No, I think good discussion. I think the murkiness and the busyness of this project has left a lot more questions than answers, but I still believe that the 12 exemptions from the PUD are not warranted based on this project. Thank you.
Trustee Holzhauser?
I am crystal clear on the business, and honestly, I do like the business and everything in it. I like the floor plan. I think the gaming area should be in the restaurant area. I do agree with Trustee Muller's point on the bathrooms. My problem with the project is the location of the project. I just feel like Homer Glen, and I'm going to go back to what I wrote well before this meeting. You know, Homer Glen's got two chances in 159th Street and Bell Road for entertainment, retail, and dining. And that's what all the residents are clamoring for. So I love this project. I just don't love it in an outlet of Menards. I feel like that is prime real estate for dining, entertainment, retail, upscale, you know, what the residents have asked for. I've never once heard a resident ask for a gas station. And no offense to council, for me, it's just the location.
Okay. Can you answer the questions now? Is it two businesses or one?
The only licensed business to have gaming, if you prefer there to be a local license, would be Scally's.
So that's the one we're
Two reporting entities. So each will have a separate taxpayer number with the state for tax purposes.
But it would be, may I say something? May I ask something? But you're saying today that it would be one license, it'd be one license holder, and that would just be on the Scally side.
If you prefer them to get a local license, some places.
I'm confused on the local, what he's talking about.
If you don't want to issue.
Mark, to be honest with you, I'd rather have you just come in through the state.
He's council's saying that if we don't proceed, you don't get both, is what, I think the concern here, what the concern here, council, is that the board is thinking now in their minds that you're gonna have 16 machines here. I think you need to clarify that to them, that you're not going for two licenses, one from the state and one from local, which would be a 16 total. You're simply first going before the local municipality to say, hey, would you issue us one? And then if for whatever reason they had reservations, then
you know that we can get one via the state. You're not pursuing both contemporaneously, correct?
Correct. Now, we want to get that discussion going. I tried that a year and a half ago, Mayor, with you.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You reached out and they changed the ordinance.
Right.
Nothing I can do about that. I can't change the ordinance on my own.
Permitting. So, for our purposes on location, since 1999, Homer Glen works to develop these outlot plans with Menards. Reviewed in 2002, approved plan in 2004.
You say 1999?
Yes.
We weren't a village in 1999, but okay. We weren't a village in 1999.
It was part of the consideration. Informing the village how far you would expand your boundaries. It was.
Yeah, the property, yeah, not the business.
It was annexed after formation.
Okay.
All right? I'm not sitting here to argue semantics. I'm saying that for 22 years, before the last approval, this property was planned for exactly this kind of use. Something that generates traffic, something that brings more in, so those outlots are more attractive.
Are you talking about Menards then?
Yeah.
To bring in more, right,
traffic, if
right.
there's more gas, it's synergistic. If there's gas, if there's a convenience store, people see that convenience and pass through. It's a tremendous help to their customers to have a gas station. You know how many cars going out of Menards that will stop for gas? That might stop somewhere on the way north that's not in Overland? Your own
Well, let's,
plan says
I mean,
there's leakage of these tax dollars, substantial leakage.
there's a gas station 250 feet away from there.
Right, let me clarify something, okay?
With a special use.
Mr. Gruba, the property as it's zoned currently, just for clarity, does it or does it not allow for a gas station?
It does.
It does.
As a special use permit. So it's zone C2, and that would be a special use permit
Okay.
in that zone district.
Okay, so some people, from what I'm hearing, just don't want the gas station, the car wash at all. Is that where the majority is, or is that where the minority is? Sounds like the majority, because I see two over here and I see Trustee Muller. So all the rest of the ins and outs really doesn't matter if you guys just don't want this development in itself. Trustee Holzhauser, Trustee Lepore. Ms. Trustee Holzhauser, was that what you were saying? Is that you just didn't like the development in its entirety?
I don't like the location of it. I think the development in its entirety is very well thought out, and it's great. It's just, I don't see it as a need. And I'm saying is we have one shot at this, you know?
Right, I see what you're saying. But, go ahead.
And from a legal perspective, people, you would have to, whether you vote for or against the ordinances before you, you need to go through the 10 enumerated criteria and determine whether or not those criteria have or have not been met based upon all the information that was contained in your packet, which included the report of the Plan Commission, the recommendations, all of council's arguments that he submitted in Exhibit B, which is all before you, in addition to the comment, public testimony, and all the other submittals that have been submitted part of this case.
And you would also have to have a supermajority, I thought.
No.
No.
Would you not?
No, only if the planning commission failed it. So,
Also, to deny a special use for purposes that apply to every lot in the district. So if you'd rather see a restaurant here, for example, that applies to other properties in the same C2 district. You cannot deny a special use on that basis.
thank you.
That's living word. Church of the Living Word, on the Supreme Court case.
So I actually was bringing that up earlier, is that we can't just say no because we don't like it, because we can't tell someone what they can or can't do. If it's within our realm, we can. We don't have to grant all of these, these
Special uses.
these conditions. We don't have to grant
Right.
these conditions. But you really can't tell someone you can't do something if it's allotted for. Just to throw that out there. But number one, but again, back to the clarity of this building, Trustee Muller brought up a perfect example. If this is two businesses or one, there's still only one bathroom. This office area, if you look at the floor plan, it says office. It looks like toilets there. I'm assuming they're toilets, where it says office, because it looks like toilet. Maybe it's a desk. Oh, maybe that's a chair and a desk. Okay. But if this is a restaurant with the machines, and that's
To
where
share the bathrooms.
then they're sharing a bathroom over here, which is okay, but if it's going to ever be two separate businesses, they should have their own bathrooms. And, you know,
And I think you have to call upon
Mr. Gruba?
the director and.
Yes.
And wherever the building code.
No, because what I'm saying is if they only have one set of bathrooms, right? Because you can't have a restaurant without bathrooms separate from the gas station.
I think you need to ask, from our code standpoint, if that's applicable. I don't know, I don't have that in front of me to review.
Madam Mayor?
So, Mr. Gruba, if they put up a wall, it's like this wall here, okay? If it's two different businesses, if they ever tried to split this off, right? Doesn't both places have to have a bathroom?
Well, yeah, I mean, if there's separated.
Yeah.
And there's a separate entrance, I'm not familiar with all the ins and outs of the building code, but in my understanding is, yeah, you would
Okay,
need
and
a
if it's a
separate.
half wall, they can reply on one, but then they only get one liquor, one gaming, correct?
I'm not sure about the liquor and gaming.
Okay,
Yep.
I wanted to
Madam-
make it clear, though, because it just seems weird to me that the 24 hours would be granted for this and not this. If we're going to grant the 24-hour rule, but I understand that. So what I'm saying is if we're granting 24 hours for this whole thing, okay, I don't think a restaurant here should be open 24 hours. But if this portion, if the gas station portion wanted to be open for 24 hours and they have their bathrooms in there, they should just move their gaming over there, because then this is separate.
If the restaurant's a 24-hour operation, it becomes that after 11:01. At 11:01, the restaurant is a 24-hour operation. Anything after 11 or before 6 is a 24-hour operation. It's not 24 hours according to how ordinary people think this through. Period.
It's not the clock, it's according to,
It's not the clock.
right. See, and I felt that you,
Well, it's a 24-hour operation, because they're open until 2 or
see, and I felt you did meet the criteria.
So many questions.
I do.
I mean, not for me, I get it. I
said that
I don't
earlier
mind
on.
it.
I wanted the language cleaned up initially, is the whole reason it got tabled. I felt that you did meet the
Can you just have a
criteria,
special
and I get what you're trying to do with the captive audience. If I got a gas station, if I got a convenience store, if I got a little restaurant, and then they're gonna head over to Menards or vice versa, because there's the connection, and then there's the one entrance in and the one entrance off to Bell Road, I get it. I was in business, I understand it, and I think it's a beautiful project, and you're zoned for it. So, with the exception of everyone
What I'm
wanting
saying is
the
if this is the part
special
that's
uses, because there are
open
special
and the
use
restaurant's not open,
requirements,
the bar's not
which is the
open, people are gonna
setbacks
go
and
here
other
over
things,
here.
I'm fine.
On the plumbing side, it's not a local ordinance, it's a state law, it's the state plumbing code. The state plumbing code is based on occupancy, and that
Right.
determines the number of fixtures that you
Yep,
have to have.
yep.
Okay, I understand that. Can we just look at, imagine we're in this building. Let's just imagine we're standing inside this building and it comes 11:01, okay? And we want to go game. Me and you want to go sit at the machines and gamble. The bar's not open and there's no food. So you mean to tell me that this little gaming area will be open 24 hours? There's no bathrooms over here in this section. There's no food. There's no supervision. There's nothing. Just a bunch of people sitting at these machines all by themselves, but the gas station portion is open. Is that what we're envisioning here?
The gas station portion, under state law, could be open if that is your preference with the gaming. No alcohol sales, period. They don't have to sell alcohol. Lenny's doesn't have to sell alcohol.
Okay, I get that, yeah.
So that's
If, if Scally's Beef wants to stay open past 11 or 12 o'clock on weekends, which many of your places do, they would benefit from the 24-hour special use. If Scally's Beef, in your mind, should be the licensee, and you'd rather have it locally handled for gaming, and developer sits down with you next week, a few days before we submit the permit, to try to figure this out, and they agree that it's better to apply for a local license, they certainly want to have the 24-hour approval. That's why Lot 2 is set for 24 hours as Lot 2 uses. Okay, we don't want to go back through zoning because of that discussion.
And I'm just, and council, just for clarification, it's one gaming license, period.
One gaming license, 6 machines.
There it is.
That's what we show. If we have 10 machines, that would change your parking count, and that would be something that Chris would say does not substantially conform.
Because we both understand that when you have 10 machines, you're gonna have people that are sitting there, not transitory, coming in and out, pumping up their gas, doing those things. 10 machines causes a parking issue. Potentially.
He's also locked into what we passed, which is that.
But what I'm saying is, if, and this is us talking, I need clarity from my attorney. If we have, we don't have any restaurant, nothing open 24/7, nothing.
Right, and that will be
Nothing.
shut down.
No, he's saying he would like to have this 24 hours, not the booze portion, because he can't sell the booze, but the kitchen part 24 hours.
Do 24 hours. You do. That was in our.
But he's saying, when he says 24
What
hours,
restaurant's 24
it's not the
hours?
actual clock of the 24. When he's saying 24,
Yes, 11:01.
correct,
Drive-through only, though.
correct, which is 24 hours. It's like open to the maximum possibility, but the possibility is 11:01. Because at that point, it's not the clock actually going all the way 24, it's up to 11:01. And he stuck to the 6 machines.
Over a 12-hour period, then
Right.
it automatically makes it.
Right, exactly. And he stuck to the 6
I know it makes no sense. Do you see what I'm saying?
That's what we're. We'll tell you your 24-hour operations. One of your.
Yes.
I'm going to assume it's Taco Bell, White Castles, and Wendy's? Dottie's?
Davidson's Bar, Front Row Restaurant.
24 hours? No, he's playing on words. He's saying because they're open till 1 a.m.
Myers, Mug Shots.
Right.
Is this right?
It's open at 1 a.m.
Right.
Does that make it 24 hours? Does that mean it 10, does it mean?
It's the
1:03
definition
they're
of the
allowed to be
24
open?
hours is what it breaks down to, because those restaurants are not open till that time period, but and they do not go around the clock, but they come up to that 11:01.
Wendy's, Wingstop, Tavern on.
Okay, sir, I've heard enough, because that's not what we're discussing, but that's okay. So clarity again, so we still have, you guys still have the right to discuss whatever it is that you want. I think with the 24 hours is a little confusing, because he's saying one thing.
It's a little confusing.
We look at it to be something else.
Correct.
So,
And that's where cut and dry comes into place, you know, and no perception, right?
Why don't, a recommendation can be that you table it.
No, I get it.
We have a time to sit down with council, and we can get further clarification. We've been going at it now for, I think, an hour and a half. Certainly, but it seems that there's still some questions that you all would need to get answered, and maybe we can have a time consistent with OMA where we can have a couple of trustees with myself, with the attorney, just try to clarify whatever questions you have sometime next week, and then back before the board the following week.
can we call for a special meeting, so we don't have to do this at another, like, the sooner the better?
You can call, man, you can call in a special board meeting.
What?
If you would.
What?
I mean, if what I said about the not liking the location, is not,
Can't be considered.
can't be considered, then
Correct.
I would change my vote.
Okay.
Right, so that's what
I
I'm
would-
saying.
How do
is-
we get it back to?
I understand what he's saying about 24 hours. I think we're beating a dead horse. I don't think that's the intent or the spirit. He's going to do the same thing.
I can't get a straight
No,
answer,
no
so it's hard
different
for
than
me to
what
say.
Lenny's is doing.
Exactly.
Lenny's has, the way I look at it is Scally's is not Scally's. It's all Breezy's, and they rent the space out. They have a restaurant that Scally's could go out of business because their beef sucks in two months, and it's going to be something else. You know what I mean? Right. Well,
I mean, he owns the property.
yeah, I know, and he's the GC, and he's everything else. Well, I mean, why isn't he doing it in Lamont? Lamont has zero gas station. It's a hypothetical.
So, Madam Mayor, when I first made the motion to pull it from the table and bring it out, I knew that they were within the criteria of the ordinances. And it was only initially the wording in the, back in the Plan Commission's approval to put in front of us, which was a little argumentative, is the only reason I ever got tabled in the first place. Otherwise, as I read through this, I felt that it was perfectly within the scope of doing business on C2. Special uses, which would be setbacks and other things, is the only thing that we really had to consider. With the, in lieu of the information that Trustee Holhauser just states, I don't know how we put it back to rescind the last motion.
We already did. We're in a motion to reconsider, so you guys can re-vote on this.
Yes.
Which it sounds like it would go in the favor. Again, all I ask is for clarity.
We
and
need to have, I think though for clarity that we need to have a motion, an amendment needs to be taken that for lot 2, it'll be one license holder, that part of the condition of the special uses granted for lot 2, it'll be one license holder. And that, Madam Mayor, that the board or staff are gonna work with the applicant here in short order to make sure that this floor plan, those machines are where you want them to be.
And the understanding of the 24 hours.
Isn't that what you suggested, Council?
We certainly want to work with the mayor on that. The one license was gaming. You're going to have multiple liquor licenses.
Correct. That's your concern, Madam Mayor.
And then on the, working with the mayor, the only issue that we have is that if there's a preference to stay local, and that's agreed, and she wants it to be located, it usually can be done within the confines of an approved ordinance. Please understand, I have architects, full plan submittal ready on engineering, full plan submittal ready to submit on architecture, and a lender.
Sure.
What I'm dealing with is, if this is going to get tabled,
No.
simply because somebody may want the gaming in a different spot?
No.
No.
Council,
No.
may I speak?
Yeah, that's
I don't
not where
think
it was
I
at.
don't think that's what
I think
the
that was-
mayor is suggesting. No, this is just, what I think is what you're saying is that could be a condition of the final approval, or a final occupancy permit would be that that this footprint would be nailed down with staff and your client.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you can work on that, it's not gonna affect the foundation, it's not gonna affect the grading, it's not gonna affect the engineering. It may just affect the interior walls and things of that nature, which you can work out. Time's not the essence at this point at that critical path of the operation.
You're correct. If we add tables and seating, that would go up too, because it's parking lot issue. There's a lot of this we look at when the permits come.
Okay.
So we need to amend.
We're gonna make, there's gonna be an amendment for lot 2, there'll be one of the conditions of the special
One gaming
use is
license.
There'll be one gaming license. Local gaming license.
Correct.
Is that decided?
Well, that's the amendment that.
We're putting it in there so the wording is in there, so it can't be both locations, even though if you sell these at a further date, you don't go to the state and try to get another
If a
one.
liquor license was applied for, one would only be allowed.
Yeah, yes.
Right. Do you understand?
We're not approving the liquor license now, we're saying if.
If. Do you understand?
I'm not clear on this. I think the issue for me is that the one gaming license is phrased before the most recent recital. One gaming license for 6 machines locally or at the state level.
Right.
It's just one license.
Right.
It's not 2 at local or 1 at the state.
One here, one there, right.
It's literally one, but it could be state or it could be local.
Why would you want that?
In some communities, the mayor ultimately decides she doesn't want to sign off on a gaming license. And as we
That's not the case here.
don't necessarily sell a lot of alcohol. People don't go drinking and gaming at these places.
That's not the case here?
But regardless, you're fine with restricting it to 6 machines, irrespective of the state potentially allowing for 10. You understand that through the local ordinance regulatory authority, that 10 machines could change the entire impact on parking and could change every one of these factors that the board's being asked to adopt today.
And the ordinance you're approving has seating.
Correct.
If seating increases, our parking changes.
Correct.
If you allow by local ordinance us to go to 8 machines or 10 and it's fine for everybody else, we would have to come before you to get it done.
Correct.
Correct.
Thank you.
This doesn't mean we're granting it today. This means if he shall apply.
Shall be limited to one gaming license
I know. It's my fault.
or state. Limited to 6 machines. Okay, may I read the amendment?
Yeah, who's making the amendment?
So I believe that there is a amendment that trustee Mason has asked for me to prepare for him.
Correct.
That amendment would read as follows, that as a condition of all the special uses being granted within this ordinance, that if a liquor license from the applicant is applied for and approved by the local liquor commissioner, there shall be placed a limit of 1 gaming license, local or state, limited to 6 machines for lot 2.
Correct.
Is that fine? Okay.
So trustee Mason's making that amendment. Is there a second to that
Second.
amendment?
All in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
No, that's fine. All right, that was all in favor to the amendment, yes. Right, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On the motion as amended, on the ordinance, the motion to approve the ordinance with all the special uses specified therein as amended.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
No.
Trustee Muller.
Pass.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
No.
It passes.
Motion carries.
Motion carries.
Okay, moving on to L3.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry.
Number 3, consider for approval a proclamation retroactively celebrating Arbor Day, April 25th, 2025 in the Village of Homer Glen. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I have a question. Why are we proactive? Why are we doing something from August of 25?
You have to keep your big tree, or your tree
Do
city.
we just skip it in 25?
We have to, no, we have to.
Dark skies.
Stay,
Oh,
or
No,
not
I
dark
just-
skies, compliant
Why
with the
didn't-
tree city.
why didn't we
That's
do
what
it
was.
in April of 25 then?
We forgot to.
Okay.
I'm assuming now that we have trustee Schaller on the environmental committee, that'll
All
never
right.
happen again.
Do you want to read the proclamation?
Madam Mayor, I would love to.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
This retroactive Arbor Day proclamation reinforces the village's commitment to trees in our urban forest and our 17th year for Tree City USA reporting. Through delayed, our community had celebrated the spirit of Arbor Day in many ways through this past year, including free tree seedling handouts at the Village Hall, parkway planning programs, environmental committee tree plantings, big tree awards, and continued efforts in tree preservation ordinance amendments. We look forward to Arbor Day again this year, so please check in with us around April for details on another free native tree seedling giveaway.
Any other discussion on this? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Muller. Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 4, consider for approval the release of the letter of credit for Dunkin' Donuts at 12129 West 159th Street in accordance with the Village Code. Is there a motion?
I'll make.
Trustee Muller?
I'll second.
Trustee Lepore, any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 5, consider for approval payment of an invoice of the Heroes Trail West Expansion Project in the amount of $57,955.42 to be paid to the Illinois Department of Transportation. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Was that Trustee Mason?
Yes, ma'am.
Trustee, is there a second?
Second.
Trustee Schaller, any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Motion carries. Number 6, do we have to do this? Consider for approval resolution number 26-006, approving the following executive session minutes, September 24th, 2025, October 8th, 2025, and October 22nd, 2025. The executive session minutes still require confidential treatment and are not to be released. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Lepore?
I'll second.
Trustee Muller? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Lepore?
Aye.
Trustee Muller? Trustee Holzhauser?
Aye.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Schaller?
Aye.
Motion carries. And there's no workshop. Any old business? Any new business?
Yes, Madam Mayor. I'd like to introduce an item for discussion regarding long-term law enforcement service model evaluation for the Village of Homer Glen. As everyone's aware, Will County is going out to bid on a consultant to review the police services currently provided to Homer Glen and to determine whether the cost structure is in line. Given that we invest approximately $5.2 million annually in law enforcement services, it's our responsibility to ensure we are receiving appropriate level of structure of service for that expenditure. This would not be a commitment to establish our own police department. Rather, it would be a comprehensive, objective evaluation of all service models, including a continuation of intergovernmental agreement, and would examine service levels, response times, staffing adequacy, long-term financial obligations, capital requirements, and comparative benchmarks with similar communities. The fundamental question is, are we receiving the proper police services for the $5.2 million we spend each year? To move this forward in a transparent manner, I'm requesting that at our next board meeting, under new business, staff present a draft request for proposals for the board's review for hiring a consultant or going out for one, and to proceed to publish that RFP after it was approved.
Okay. You guys were all aware of this, right? That this was happening? Okay.
We are.
I think it's, can we have a short discussion?
Sure.
I think it's important that I'm very happy with Will County Sheriff. I don't have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with paying for services. I think looking at comparative municipalities, New Lenox, Frankfort, Mokina, Lockport. New Lenox is our closest comparable. They're at about 27,000 in population. Their police department is in the 40s. At some point in time, I do believe that our costs are going to go up, but I think there is going to be an intersect where at some point we need to model the village at a build-out. What happens when 159th Street is completely built out? What happens when other subdivisions go in? At what point does the services that we are obtaining from Will County Sheriff are not
To the expectations.
they're not to the expectations of our residents? At what point do they want more because of our footprint and our population is growing? And I think looking at that and possibly modeling and it's been a long time since previously Administrator Baber sent looking into a part-time police department, and I think it should be modeled to see what a police department would cost for the village of Homer Glen, so we can compare where that intersect will be. It may be 5 years from now, it may be 10 years from now. Costs, we're going to continue to go up. I think we just need to be prudent of knowing those numbers and where we stand.
I agree. No, I agree with you. And you're taking the lead on that, you and Mr. Pasquinelli. All right, I was actually going to bring that up as well tonight, but the last thing I had, anybody else have any new business?
Actually, I want to elaborate with Will County doing a drill down. I think it is our financial and fiduciary responsibility to make sure that we're getting what we paid for. I think the Will County Sheriff's Department does a great job. I'm super happy with Lieutenant Pete Piazza and servicing. And
Brown nose.
Yeah, a little bit. And sitting on the service or the safety committee and the public services. But I couldn't have said it any better. I think Trustee Scheller used eloquent words to describe what we had discussed, but we did go over this. I went over it a little bit with Nick in the past. Bottom line, I think it's our responsibility, and I don't think I had thought even as far out as you had, as far as where this will intersect and at what point and at what time. And we did do a little bit of this in the past, Madam Mayor, where it's come up before, where we look at it and we're trying to figure out what the cost versus the service. But if Will County is looking at it, it is our responsibility to be financially responsible as well and make sure that, you know, everything aligns on our end of it, so we know how to negotiate with Will County as we move forward.
Any more on that? Yep.
Yeah, and I think it's just important to note, especially to the men and women that protect everybody here in this village, which standing right out there right now, we really support everything that you do. I think myself, legally, I see that this is coming not from the sheriff's department. This wasn't the sheriff that brought this up. This certainly wasn't the undersheriff that brought this up. This was not the chief Jungles, who has been taking charge, you know, ensuring that the residents here have been protected extremely well. This is coming from the county board, or members of the county are pushing this. I just want to be very, very clear that it's not coming from members of the sheriff's department. This is coming from the county itself. And as Trustee Scheller noted, the village board and the village officers here would not be good stewards if they weren't looking at to protect themselves, protect the residents here, just like the sheriffs do every day for the men and women that live here. We would not be good stewards if we weren't looking at other alternatives potentially. In the unlikely event that the number, as Trustee Scheller pointed out, becomes something so astronomical that, well, hey, maybe there's an intersection point where it makes sense, pragmatic fiscal sense for the village then to put that investment in to provide for its own police services if it gets to that point. But it's certainly not being brought on because the men and women that protect us every day aren't doing their jobs. We certainly do we certainly do appreciate everything that you all do. This is what we have to do in response to action that's being taken right now by the county.
Okay. The only thing I was going to mention is, you know, Candace, I think you do a great job with announcing all the sports and all that fun stuff. We used to like bring in the teams, like when they won state or did something. I mean, if we could maybe work on maybe bringing them in. I mean, I know you listed off a gazillion teams that just won there, but I heard you say like they won state or they.
Well, I mean, depending on what they play.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like cheer would be an option.
Yeah, because it's state champs, you know, things like that, yeah.
Stuff, I know that they have to be,
No, I mean, no, not necessarily. I mean, our kids go to that school too. I mean, that's our school district, right? Lockport's our school district. If it's 33C, 92, yes, absolutely. Ludwig, that is 92, but I mean, yeah, Oak Prairie. So if there's a student or a sports team from our school districts, yeah, they're part of us. They're extension of us.
Ludwig.
Yeah, I think that's important. Yeah.
That's an achievement.
Or even a spelling bee winner. So I mean, something that we could just keep the community recognition going.
Right, no,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Well, like last year we had the girls wrestling team come in.
Right. We've had girls softball before. We've had cheerleading.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that was it. All right. Do we have to go in executive session for executive session minutes? Okay, so we are going into is there a motion to go in executive session minutes for discussion regarding personnel, discussion regarding pending and ongoing litigation, discussion regarding public utilities, discussion pertaining to land acquisition, and executive session minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Lepore, Trustee Moeller, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
All right, roll.